Hello, everyone. Welcome to another online event from UKEC. Today, we're joining with the UKEC Visa team to give you this presentation about graduate route, which is also known as post-study work visa. And the title is All the Things You Need to Know About PSW Visa. And first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Patrick. I'm the head of the operation of UKEC International team. And joining me today will be our marketing team staff, Hazel, who will be letting people in and sending out greeting messages. And also our experienced consultant, Sana, who will be also joining us. She will be answering everyone's question. So if you do have any questions along the way, please do feel free to leave them on the chat box. We will answer your questions straight away, or if we don't have time to answer them, or having problems giving you the precise answers, we will get in touch with you directly after the seminar. So let's get everything started. In today's session, we will cover the following sections. First of all, what is the graduate route, which is also known as PSW? And secondly, where and when to apply. Third is the eligibility. And also we will talk about the work and study options you have while you're having the PSW visa. And then we will talk about the sports visa. So if you would like to apply for the sports visa when you apply for the PSW status. And the very last section, we will cover what will happen after the PSW visa expires. And as usual, just for those who actually get to know UKEC the first time, I would like to spend a few minutes following to introduce to you a little bit about UKEC, who we are and what we do. We call ourselves UKEC, aka UK Education Center. We have more than 23 years of experience in this education industry and helping thousands of students to come to the UK to fulfill their dream into UK universities. And we're working with nearly all the universities in the UK. Currently, we have more than 120 universities which are our partners, and we can send you to any of our partner universities. Globally, we have 26 offices at the moment in a lot of countries such as UK, China, Malaysia, Ireland, and as well as Pakistan, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, and etc. So if you want to seek some of the local office help, you can get in touch with them as well. We do have we do put quality as our priority and to serve our students. We are registered UCAS Center, so if you would like to apply to the undergraduate courses in the UK through UCAS, we will be the one that you can come to. And we have been winning numerous of awards along the way. So the service that we provide is totally trustworthy. To the date, we actually already helped more than 45,000 students to study their desired universities. And I believe that you will be the next one if you use our service. Here we put some of the universities that we work with. As you can see that they are the top ranking universities. And most of the university that we're working with, we covered the Russell Group universities such as Cardiff, Nottingham, Southampton, Queen Mary, and some of the top ranking universities that you can identify such as Manchester, Glasgow, Edinburgh universities. So no matter if you are trying to apply for the top ranking ones, or if you're looking for the budget ones and to save your cost, we always have the options for you to choose from. The service that we provide, we can just put them roughly into two big groups. One is pre-departure, one is post-departure. For the pre-departure ones, from the very beginning, our experienced consultants such as Sana, who is joining us today, will give you a thorough consultation considering all your academic and working experience backgrounds so that we can give you a best option that you can choose from for the university that you can apply for and the subjects that suit your need. And then we will make the application on your behalf and contact the university to chase up the offers. And when you got the conditional offer, we will also help you to change them into unconditional offers and also to help you to apply for the CAS. And we also have dedicated accommodation team to help you to find a suitable accommodation for you when you study in the UK. And we also have a dedicated visa team who are joining us today as well to help you with your visa applications. And then another part will be post-arrival thing. All the students that apply through us do not only have the service that from us to help them to get to the UK, but also after they get into the UK. So when you study, you might come across some of the difficulties in the school and also having problems registering yourself or getting your essay down. So in that case, we can also provide assistance to you. A lot of the students from using our service become friends of our consultants because they provide service and advice to them along their way through their journey of studying in the UK. So we constantly doing the seminars about how you live in the UK, how you save your cost living in the UK, and also to help you to find a desired job after you graduate. So everything that you can think of related to studying in the UK, we can provide those services to you and consultation as well. So let's get to the main point of today's presentation. First of all, we're talking about the PSW, the post-study visa, and what is graduate route, also known as the post-study visa. First of all, this scheme has been introduced for those students graduate on or after 2021. So after 2021 intake, any students graduate from the course started in 2021 will be eligible to apply for this PSW scheme. And this scheme is only for the Tier 4 student visa holder. So you have to hold a Tier 4 student visa before you can apply for the student visa. We'll talk about that to apply for the PSW. We'll talk about that in details later on. And you must finish undergraduate at least, or any degrees above that, such as postgraduate and PhD study. At the moment, for the undergraduate and postgraduate studies students, you will be granted 2 years PSW visa after that. And then for the PhD students, it's 3 years of PSW visa will be granted to you. And during you have the PSW visa, you will be able to choose any work to do or spend times looking for the jobs. This particular scheme has been officially announced on the 1st of July 2021. And then all the information that we cover on today's presentation will be might be changed a little bit from time to time. However, we will give everyone's update whenever there's an update from the UKBA. Because some of the students might already heard some of the rumors. For example, the PSW visa will be shortened to just 6 months instead of 2 years, which means that you have to find the job within 6 months of granted for the PSW visa. Otherwise, the whole visa will be cancelled. Instead of you have the whole 2 years time for looking for job. And also some other rumors says that the PSW visa might be cancelled very soon. However, all those information at the moment remain unclarified and unconfirmed. So don't worry about that. At the moment, the PSW visa still valid and still be granted to those students currently graduate in the near future. So if you want to apply to study in the UK, you can still apply for the PSW visa after you finish. However, because this particular PSW scheme has brought a significant increase of the application numbers since 2021. So the UK government might think of something to change on this such policy just to control the quality and the quantity of the students making applications to UK universities. So the sooner that you apply to the UK universities, the sooner you finish your graduation and the sooner you can be eligible to apply for the PSW. So if you are still planning to do it now, please do get in touch with us with our consultants to get detailed information so that you can know how you can apply for the UK universities, which can give you the opportunity to stay 2 extra years after you graduate to find the desired job you want to have. So now we comes to the next question, is where and when to apply for the PSW visa. So first of all, you need to apply that after, of course, after this scheme come into place, which is the 1st of July, 2021. And then the key thing is you can only apply for the PSW visa after universities confirm with UKBA, which is UK Border Agency, about your degree courses has been officially completed. Some of the students might come across with such difficulties if they have delays in getting their degree certificates or to get their exam results, which can lead them to be delayed on the whole process because the university can only inform the UKBA when you finish all the exams and seminar and dissertations, if needed, to get your degree fully completed. And only by then, when the records has been justified by the UKBA, that's when you can apply for the PSW. It's not automatically granted you the opportunity to apply for it after you finish your degree courses and after you finish your taught courses. So please bear in mind, it's very important. And also, one key thing that you need to look out is that you can only apply for the PSW visa before your current Tier 4 student visa expired. Some of the students has been granted Tier 4 student visa only 2 months extra before their desired calendared the finishing date of their desired courses. So that will give them a quite short of time to apply for the PSW visa because you need time to prepare everything and you probably need to seek for the professional consultants just like the company from us, and then you need to ask and prepare the documents before you can apply for the PSW. So make sure that you keep an eye on the actual expiration date of your student visa because you can only apply for the PSW before that visa get expired. And the last thing you need to bear in mind is that you have to apply and only can apply the PSW visa while you physically in the UK. So after you finish your study, instead of some of the students might think that wow, is the end of the intensive study for 1 year, so I need to maybe take myself for a trip or on a holiday to visit other countries while I'm in the UK, and then to just to relax. However, you need to bear in mind that you have to apply for the PSW if you want to do that, and you have to be physically in the UK. So if you have any travel plans after your study, make sure that you organize your time efficiently so that you have time when you're in the UK to make the application for the PSW. And the next point is who could apply for the PSW visa. And in this slide, we will focus on in the respect of visa related issues. First of all, as I mentioned before, you need to have Tier 4 student visa. if you're holding, for example, if you're currently study, but while you're holding sports visa, or if some of the students from certain region, for example, in Taiwan, they do have a special visa scheme, which is not tier 4 visa, but allow them for 2 years studying or working in the UK. So it's different from the tier 4 visa. In that case, they're not eligible for the applying for the PSW visa because you have to have the tier 4 visa, student visa, while you're applying for the PSW. And the second thing is you could only apply once. By mentioning once, is that because, for example, if myself, I finished the undergraduate course in the UK, let's say I studied accounting and finance, and then I decided, okay, I would like to find a job. So I applied the PSW visa and been granted that. However, when I found the job, or even before I found the job, during the time that I applied for the job, I realized that the degree that I hold already, which is finance and accounting, is not enough for me to get the job that I want. And I decided instead of keeping the PSW and keep looking for the jobs, I decided to further my study instead. So I would like to apply for another postgraduate courses, let's say maybe international business management or international finance, those type of courses related to my undergraduate. And in that case, I will be granted a separate tier 4 visa for furthering my study. However, if after I finish the postgraduate study and I want to apply again for the PSW, I couldn't do that because I can only apply for the PSW once. And but if you try to apply for the PSW visa, but because of the missing documents or because of your current status did not meet the actual criteria for the PSW visa, then in that case, if you want to apply again when your status changed, in that case, you can still apply. So in one word, if you already been granted PSW visa, then you used that chance. And that is the only chance, and you couldn't apply again. However, if you didn't make it to the final PSW visa being granted, then you can still apply until you got the actual visa. If any of you already have the questions, you can just fire away on our chat box, and then my colleague will reply you on those questions. And I will also answering the questions when it's the Q&A session. Okay, next one is if your tier 4 visa already expired, then you cannot apply. That, as I mentioned before. And the last one is the doctorate extension schemes. You cannot apply for that if you're holding that DES visa. And next, we're going to talk about who can apply, what qualifications you need to hold to apply for the PSW visa. First of all, if you finish study at the UG, which is undergraduate or above degree courses, you can apply for the PSW visa. However, you need to remember that if you are studying some of the professional courses, for example, if you are study accountant related courses or law related courses, you might be asked to have the actual related certificates for that particular course so that you can apply for the PSW. So you need to obtain the actual certificates, such as the physiotherapy certificates or pharmacist certificates. You can only apply for the PSW when you've been granted for those certificates. So look out for the actual requirements if you study those professional courses. And if you have any doubts, you can check the UKPA website, or you can simply just ask our consultants for help. And next, this must be from the higher education institutions with sponsor qualifications. Most of the our partner universities in the UK, they do have such qualifications. But if you apply through some of the, for example, colleges or the field universities that don't have such qualifications, then you will be in trouble applying for the PSW course. So if you want to know more about that, or if you want to know which universities that you're applying for, or whether the university that you're applying for have such qualification, please do check with us as well. And the next point is the one that I mentioned before as well, is that your universities must notify the UKBA about your completion of the degree courses. So if they haven't notified them yet, even if you have already officially finished your courses, you will not be able to apply for the PSW visa. And you also need to finish the course under your current Tier 4 visa, which allow you to study to finish that course before you can apply for the PSW visa. And which lead to the next point, which is quite important, is the course that undertaken must match the one that registered on your CAS letter. As you may know that before you come to the UK, you will need to apply for the Tier 4 visa, student visa, long-term one, to make yourself sponsored by the university in which you study the courses that you want to. However, for that one, you need to make sure that the CAS letter that university issued to you will clearly state that which course you will study while you're in the UK. You need to make sure that particular course will matching the one that you're having when you apply for the Tier 4 visa. So for those students who change their subjects after they join the UK universities, they need to be careful on this particular point, because a lot of students, that happen a lot, that when they come to the UK, for example, initially you want to study accounting, but while you're in the UK, you found yourself a little bit struggling on accounting subjects, and you want to change it to, let's say, finance. And then you need to notify the universities. Sometimes even some students want to change the universities as well. In that case, if you change the university, or if you merely just change the subject, make sure the university can issue you a brand new CAS, so that you can have the subject that you study under that brand new CAS. Because when you apply for the PSW, the UKBA will check your original CAS to make sure that the subjects that you graduated from is matching the one that's stated in your original CAS. If you're having doubts about that, our consultants can also help on, or to give you suggestions on that. But do bear in mind that if you change the subject, you need to notify the UKBA as well. And of course, if you graduated before the the PSW scheme come into place in 2021, then you'll be not eligible to apply for the scheme. Okay, now the next slide that I'm going to talk about is merely about how long you need to study in the UK and where you need to study. So in order for you to apply for the PSW visa, you have to study in the UK. When I say in the UK, it means physically in the UK. It's not by distant learning or online learning. So if the whole program's undertaken in the UK, that's shown on your CAS is shorter than 12 months, then the full 12 months period, you have to be physically in the UK to study in the institutions that you apply at the first place. And if the program is longer than 12 months, then there must be at least 12 months within this period that you are physically in the UK. When I say physically in the UK, is saying that while you're studying, you have to be in the UK. But if the university have or institutions that you're studying in have the scheduled holiday or half term, like Christmas holiday, Easter holiday, then you could leave the country, of course. But while you study, while the courses has been undertaken, you must be physically in the UK. Okay, now let's talk about the cost to apply for the PSW. First of all, unlike the Tier 4 visa or other visa, a lot of different types of visas that you will be required to show the UKBA your financial capability to cover your cost in the UK. So, for example, if you apply for the Tier 4 visa, you will need to have at least to cover 9 months of your living cost in the UK to show that you have enough funds in your bank statement. However, there will be no such requirement for applying the PSW visa because for very simple reasons, when you apply for the PSW visa, it is for you to find a job or to work in the UK. So that will generate you the salaries or any of the the financial reward that you will have while you're working in the UK. So that will cover your living cost. So there's no requirement on the living cost for sure. And for those students who got the governmental sponsorship, for example, students from Middle East or students from particular countries that they are covered by their government, in that case, they have to inform the government about their intention to apply for the PSW visa because they have to get the approve from the government authorities for them to apply for the PSW visa. And the application fee is in total £700 in total. And apart from that, you also need to pay for the IHS fee, which allows you to have access to the free health service provided by the NHS, which is the National Health Service in the UK. So that is, if you apply for the 2-year PSW visa, it will be £1,248, and if it's 3 years, it will be £1,872. Those two figures are the fixed term fee, which means that you can't change it by yourself. You can't just say because I apply for the PSW, but I will leave the UK after the first year of my PSW visa, so I only pay 1 year fee. When you be granted for 2 years, you will need to pay the 2-year fee. If you're granted 3-year PSW visa, you need to pay for the 3-year fee. You couldn't pay partial of that fee. You have to pay the total amount. Okay, so next slide, we'll talk about what kind of job that you can apply after you get the PSW visa granted. In one word is any job with any employers that you can find in the UK, which including the internship part-time job, and you can also run your own business, be your own boss, and then be self-employed. For example, if you study interpreting and translation, you can work as a freelancer of interpreter or translator. So you can work on a contract base as well. So any type of the work you can find, you can do it. And you can also undergoing some of the professional training, such as teacher training, physiotherapy training, or like the social care training as well. The only thing you couldn't do is you cannot work as a professional sportsman or coach. So, for example, if you are really good at football and you want to you want to join any of the, and you can join the any of the football clubs here to become a professional sportsman, unfortunately you couldn't do that under the PSW scheme. So a lot of students ask such question, which is, can I study under the PSW scheme? The answer is no. If your if the course that you study requires you to apply for the Tier 4 visa, as you previously, before you apply for the PSW visa, then unfortunately you couldn't do that because the PSW visa is dedicated for those who want to work in the UK. So if you want to further your study, like in the examples that I raised before, then in that case you need to apply for a separate Tier 4 student visa. And in that case, our consultants will be more than happy to help you to apply for another courses if you want to further your study. However, if the courses that you want to study do not require you or do not have the ability to give you the sponsorship, and you couldn't do it under the Tier 4 visa, then you can do it, such as professional training courses, such as the physiotherapy, pharmacist training courses. Then in that case, you could do it in the UK. So next slide, we'll cover a very common question that asked by our students and clients. It's about the sports visa. So who can apply for the sports visa for PSW scheme, under the PSW scheme? First of all, you can only apply for sports visa if your spouse and your relatives are already in the UK when you make the applications. So if you haven't got any spouse with you in the UK while you're studying in the UK under your Tier 4 visa, in that case, you cannot apply for the PSW scheme for them. For example, if you are a student studying PhD and while you're studying in the UK, you have your wives or your husband with you and your kids might as well be with you. And then after your PhD study, while they're still in the UK, you can apply for the spouse visa for both of them. However, if you previously when you study your PhD or postgraduate and you haven't got the spouse with you, then after you finish your study, you couldn't apply for additional spouse visa for them. And also, your spouse must be holding dependent visa already to your Tier 4 visa, which comes to the example I just raised before. If you study the PhD courses with your spouse already holding the dependent visa, then you can apply for the spouse visa under PSW scheme. However, if you are holding, let's say, a Tier 2 visa, which is the allow you to work in the UK, and you have your wife or husband or kids under the spouse visa to your work visa, then in that case, you couldn't apply for the PSW under the PSW scheme. And of course, if you are studying UG, which is undergraduate or part-time postgraduate programs, you will not be allowed to apply for the PSW visa for spouse one. So the very last section, what you will do after the PSW scheme's visas expired. You could be a skilled worker, follow the new entrant, and then or you can apply for the sports visa, or startup or innovator, or the Tier 1 investor visa. So those are all the choices that you can apply for after your current PSW visa expired. Of course, that we have our dedicated visa team to help you on that. So if you have any doubts or if you want to apply for any of those visas and you want to ask questions relating to that, please do get in touch with our visa team so that you can have the correct answers to all those questions. So here is the full details about our visa groups, our visa team. Those covered most of the most common visa inquiries from our clients and students. So the whether you would like to study in the UK or you just want to do a short-term visit visa, or if you want to work in the UK, or if you want to be in the UK using the investor route, please do get in touch with our visa team. They will be more than happy to help you. Our visa team have their own service charge. However, our visa service will be free to those students want to apply through UKEC to our partner universities. So for those students, the applying through us, they will receive a free consultation service from our visa team as well. So if you want to apply for the UK universities through us and you want to apply for the Tier 4 visa dedicated for your study, then we will provide you with free service, consultation service, and visa application service through our visa team. However, if you only use our visa service for no matter what type of visa you want to apply, we will charge them separately. If you want to know the price, please do get in touch with us, and then we can provide you with the detailed price list. So that's the end of today's session. And now is we will leave the floor to Sana, who can answer any of the questions that you may already have. And meanwhile, I will leave our contact details here, so that if you want to call us or do a physical visit to us, you can visit our head office in Manchester or any of the branch office that we show on our website around the globe. And also we have email address, which is global@ukec.com. And the WhatsApp number is the WhatsApp number that you can contact with to Sana, who is our consultant joining our event today. And for those of you who will use our consultation service and successfully enrolled into any of our partner universities, who joining our event today will also have a £50 voucher that you can use while you study or you're living in the UK. So for those of you who are interested in that, please also get in touch. So for any of you couldn't have time to ask your questions, or you want to get more detailed answers to your questions, please get in touch with us directly after this event. You can email us or message us on WhatsApp. So that's the end from my session, and now we're going to the Q&A session. And I hope to seeing you all in the near future, and hope you all the best if you want to come to the UK to further your study or to find a job. Thank you.